folks, we are here and we are joined by the special guest who is going to be our guest judge for the first challenge, Greg Hermanovic, the founder of Derivative, the maker of TouchDesigner, the mastermind behind it all, and the person whose hairstyle I have recently taken to loving. Thank you for joining us, my friend. How are you?
It's great to be here, guys. You know, Elburz, when you first pitched this idea to me 2 months ago, excuse my Canadian, I thought you were fucking nuts. and and I think and it's amazing what you pulled off, guys. Geez, the collaboration with Walter, Coco Labs, everybody. Congratulations, and I'm really excited to be. First of all, I'm also really excited and honored to be beside Matt Svoboda from Notch as a guest judge. So I think it's awesome. Thanks for that. And I'm also really excited to think of all the competitors. I saw it up on your board. See a lot of familiar faces and strangers, and I'm really excited to kind of see what the hell they're thinking of as they're using TouchDesigner. So anyway, thanks very much to you guys.
No problem. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you for joining us. We are excited for the first challenge, which I'll start talking about a little bit now, because this is the Interactivity Challenge, which I think is something that when people come to TouchDesigner, first thing that comes to mind is let me make cool interactive stuff. And the interesting thing about these challenges is the competitors don't know what the actual challenges are until I start announcing them on the stream, and then they get started and have 60 minutes to finish that challenge. So the official announcement here, I'm going to read out the challenge criteria, and participants and competitors are going to get started in the background. So the challenge is harness your favorite sensor or real-time input to create an interactive and gamified piece of art. Bonus points for effects, flair, and being fun to play. The only requirements for this challenge is that the competitors must use a sensor of some sort, so whether it's a Microsoft Kinect, Leap Motion, Vive Trackers, any kind of game controller, whatever sensors they have, or some kind of real-time user input, maybe a keyboard, mouse, game controllers, and that has to be the main mechanism for controlling that kind of fun and interactive game. So we left a couple of idea starters here, but competitors are welcome to go in any direction they want, but we thought some fun ones were reimagining a game of Pong for 2020, some kind of text-based adventure game, physics, simulation-based fluid games, puzzles, Kinect-based exercise experiences, or something else entirely. It's up to them, and they are now officially able to get started while we kind of talk about what we're excited to see. So, Matthew, what do you think would be a very cool thing to see?
Oh man, it's always curious. I've got a box of all sorts of goodies that sits around me. I can't imagine being a competitor and then suddenly feeling like, oh my God, what do I need to grab? What do I need to put on a stand? What should I set up and work with? I think the pieces that have been really exciting, in my opinion, in the last 6 months, 8 months or so, are all of the tools and handles for working with point clouds, and manipulating kind of large instances, working directly from tops and doing kind of interesting instancing experiments. And so, thinking about what that might look like, especially for folks that have Kinect sitting around, I think would be really exciting and fun. And all of the fluid pieces and simulation pieces that are in Touch now also give some really curious and exciting places that I think we'll see some really great experimentation.
And Greg, what do you think would be a really exciting thing to see from your point of view? What would you be excited
for?
Well,
I was thinking along the lines of multiple. I was thinking of multiple input devices. Like when I first started Derivative with Jarrett and Rob, we were just thinking like VJs. What do they need? A screen, a projector. They need a MIDI controller. That's it. And I thought that's kind of where we're going to end up, and a little bit of audio maybe. But we fell into the world of interoperability, right? So people wanted more and more devices, and that was like so thrilling to me in hindsight, because I hadn't really envisioned the product as being that broad device-wise. And then protocols, web protocols, and then interfacing with other software and all that. That's such a real playground. So I really think the interoperability part of TouchDesigner is such an important part of what people make with it. So more than one device, try it out, see what you got. And certainly even as simple as keyboard and mouse as an input device, there's a lot you can do with that and gamify that and so on. So I'm not afraid of simple devices either.
I think that's something that people often forget, is that even with a simple tool, you can make something that's really, really fun. And I think that's probably a good time for us to transition into our kind of competitor layout here, which Patchy here has got, looks like an instrument, which is really interesting. Some kind of
Patchy's jacked
already.
Like
Man.
I like that. That's unique.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, the Guitar Hero guitar. Yes.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's the kind of creativity I want to see today. That is
look.
dope.
Yeah, look at the whatever.
Come on.
I wonder what that device. What's that operator that's pulling this stuff in? Is it MIDI? Could be anything.
That's a good question. If we can zoom in on
can you read that
screen here. 1 second. We'll zoom in here and take a better look. Oh, interesting. It's coming in over OSC.
Oh, right on.
Interesting.
And what's that? Okay, cool.
And
is that banana confetti that I'm seeing down there?
Get out of here, Justine.
Of bananas. I like that. And it looks like she's using a Kinect. So my guess is she's probably taking it towards one of those kind of, you know, the games where you're trying to catch as many of the objects falling, and you're kind of using physics to do that.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Oh my God, I love that. That's so much flair. Oh, that's
she's emitting the particles of the bananas from the Kinect. I see.
So she's doing like a little trace and then emission. Oh, fun.
Yeah, you can see how she goes. She takes the negative of the of her. She crops a part of it out, and she's taking the negative out of it, and where the white is where the particles are coming from.
What is Owen up to over there?
Yeah, what's Owen? Let's zoom into Owen. It looks like he's making some kind of keyboard.
Sorry, what were you saying, Greg? I got distracted.
I don't know. I just got distracted by Owen.
And Owen has a long history of being like the audio guy in TouchDesigner, I think, you know, from having built synths in TouchDesigner, processing effects and all kinds of stuff. Like, I know he uses I don't know if anyone else does as much audio as Owen does inside of TouchDesigner, to be honest. And I'm excited to see what he does with his keyboard, and then how he decides to interact with it as well. I think will be really interesting.
Yeah, what's Ginger's? Can you pull in on Ginger's thing? What's she yanking from left? Yeah. Oh, of something. What
I
has
wonder
that's such a
space mouse, maybe?
OSC in from something.
OSC in. Oh, you know what it might be? So Ginger has a pretty long history of gloves, because she does all these big performances, dome performances, and you know, one of her main tools of choice are these sensor gloves that she kind of uses to control everything in the show and the dome. So that's really amazing. That I think that's something out of the box. I don't know if anyone else is going to bring gloves to the table today. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I feel like there's some fun little bonus points there, I think, from my perspective.
It looks like Aristotle, who has worked so far, is working on some kind of simulation-y type of. I can't see if it's Flex or Flow yet. Maybe we can bring that screen up. And Aristotle's got a really interesting background, coming from more of a fine art background in photography, and then coming to TouchDesigner and trying to bring a lot of these different elements of their background of fine art, and you know, being internationally exhibited all around the world in different galleries, being in Wired magazine and all these kind of big publications. And I think that's an interesting background. We don't have, I think, too many traditional, like, successfully fine artists that come over to TouchDesigner. So I'm interested to see kind of where he takes this simulation aspect of it. So, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Now, I see. Look, yeah, he's got the hand tracking, and that follows the green ball. Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, man. Jesus.
All right.
And actually, let's zoom in to see what Dom is up to here, because I'm seeing a mix of 3D geometry, but it looks like there's some kind of, I can't tell if it's a camera in his top left. What is that in his top left over there?
I think
Let me
that's
actually
a
move
leap
my
motion.
camera
I
and
think that's
preview
part
it.
of the distortion, the kind of like
Oh, yeah.
parabolic
That is,
render
Yeah,
you get
that's
out of
like
that.
the raw image.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's
Oh,
the
that's
leap.
interesting. So it looks like he's using the leap, some hand controls. Oh, to do some crazy stuff with this 3D box he's got going on here.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, I like it. But always ends up flat.
Interesting.
Right on.
And it's a really cool background coming from, you know, more of a live performance, you know, doing these visuals for big concerts, festivals, and even getting into like a lot of the prototyping side of things. Like Dom's kind of been cool at doing that kind of stuff with companies. So, you know, whether it's finishing projects, doing, you know, concerts and stuff like that, or just going into bigger companies and being like, hey, let me show you some cool stuff you can do with technology. You can do it for an event. You can do it internally for like a cool lobby. And I think that's probably going to show in a lot of his work over today, is like some mix of audio stuff, but also these cool kind of interesting prototypes and interactivity.
Whoa! What is Ori doing?
Yeah, let's zoom into there. We got something. Oh, look at that! Aesthetics points coming through on Ori's screen here. Look at the glow.
Whoa! Yowza!
Yeah. I like what I'm seeing here. And then he's got the leap motion kind of. Oh yeah, shadows and everything. That's nice. Oh, Simplo. What has Simplo got going on?
Oh,
okay. So it looks like some kind of
digital
tracking.
graffiti.
Oh no way! That would be a lot. Oh, that's dope.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Oh,
So it
that's
looks
great.
like,
So there's
you know, unless I'm mistaken.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Sorry, go ahead, Matthew.
Oh no, I think it's a Kinect, and I think that there's the closed hands channel out of the Kinect shop.
Yeah.
Tommy's really cooking there. Is that Flo?
Yeah. Tommy Etkin, great developer, long time. He's been around the TouchDesigner community, doing a lot of stuff, educational stuff, releasing tools. And yeah, it looks like there's some kind of flow-based system in here. And he's got his hands. Oh, is that? It looks like there's something on his hand. Is it some kind of tracker, maybe?
Interesting.
I wonder.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a grasp. Yeah.
And I see a lot of channels actually on the right side. Oh, that's interesting. Maybe we have a secondary kind of. Oh no, that's just his. I think his sweater or shirt.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a leap motion.
Wrist, elbow, finger. So there's elbow in there. So leap doesn't have an elbow in it, does it? No.
It does.
Oh no, true. Yeah, that's interesting.
The leap actually does have an elbow approximation.
Okay, it does detect your elbow position. Okay.
Interesting.
Let's see what Vlad's up to.
Yeah, let's zoom into Vlad here. I see a lot of tops being connected. It looks like an interesting scene as well.
Interesting. You know, one of my favorite tricks that I feel like is a little underutilized is the ability for the composite top to take a path or to do matching in that little top string parameter, almost like a select top. Oh, wow, that's fun. That's really fun.
I think Harvey's going to score pretty high for aesthetics.
Yeah, wow.
Oh, what's Harvey? I think Harvey hears us.
Like, do you think that's a loop? Like
it's eye
tracking. He's doing gaze tracking on the screen. Yeah, interesting. That's what he was motioning to us in his camera feed.
Wow, that's pretty. That's tricky.
Oh no,
that's real tricky.
Oh man, so this is not just what he's. Oh my God, this is how he's looking at his screen. Over to Michael though. I want to see what's going on with him.
Is this like a whack-a-mole? This looks like a smashy kind of game.
Oh, that would be fun. And Michael has actually a really cool YouTube channel called Programming for People, where he's got a lot of tutorials on TouchDesigner and just cool content on there. And I think that's a really great thing when I see folks in the community who, you know, they're doing projects, they're making a living, but then they're also sharing back like knowledge with the community or making videos or trying to make content just to help newer folks get in the community. So that's a really cool thing. And that channel, I believe, is called Programming for People. if you check it out on
Awesome.
YouTube.
Yeah, awesome.
I've seen it. It's great. He's
And
got
yeah, it
really
looks like a
fun
kind
stuff.
of whack-a-mole.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
whack-a-mole.
And it looks like Leap Motion maybe is the whack-a-mole controller.
Can't tell.
So we do have about, you know, less than 15 minutes left. And the way we've set this up is that when we get to that cutoff time,
Right.
I know, we got 15 minutes. This stuff flies by, you know, like that banana wipe, it flies by. And actually, maybe we can zoom into Da and see what he's up to, because it looks like something crazy is happening on his stream. It looks like he's chasing another operator, which is pretty hilarious of a game, by the way, if the game is to chase the other operator.
Oh,
That's gonna get creativity points for sure.
I think, you know, one of my favorite things,
So the way
it's so nerdy,
Sorry, go ahead.
but like the TouchDesigner art for other TouchDesigner developers is one of my favorite things.
Yeah, and actually, let's check out what WebGLOL is doing, and that's Ben Benjamin. He's got a background as like a web developer, which is really cool because I think a lot of folks coming to TouchDesigner from a web background, they bring a lot of cool frameworks and tricks into their toolkit, like for making interfaces or these kind of like sidecar applications that run at the same time as like your TouchDesigner project. And it looks like, so he looks like he's wearing a VR headset, I think.
Wow.
And that is a crazy aesthetic. Oh, is he?
Wow.
Is there some kind of controllers in his hands? So I think this is going to be like a VR controlled situation.
It's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he hears us.
Vive
Yeah,
controllers.
okay. He's got the VR controllers. Oh, look at that! I love those Vive controllers.
Oh.
They are handy and they're great quality.
Oh, yeah, I think they're great. How about Velan? What's he up to? Whoop.
Yeah, let's go back and let's check out what VLand, who is you folks might know as Alpha Moonbase, from the tools he's released on GitHub to, you know, any of the videos, or if you've seen him around the community on the Discord. Actually, let's see what he's building here. We got a lot of SOPs, so he's doing a lot of geometry work. But I wonder where this geometry work is going.
Oh, it looks like it might be a frame. Might be like a rolling ball
yeah,
on a table.
Oh, that would be fun, yeah.
What's
Let's actually check out
Polyhop
what
up to?
Polyhop is up to.
Yeah, Polyhop.
Great minds, Elburz.
So that's great minds think alike, you know. And Simon Alexander Adams is your Polyhop, and he does a lot of really amazing stuff. You've probably seen his Instagram feed, which I think he does almost dailies, if not does do dailies, not even almost, but and just a lot of really great art that Simon, aka Polyhop, makes. So I'm excited to see kind of as his is building up. It looks like we got some kind of point cloud.
Look at his tool library. What a great use of the palette.
Oh my God, he's got a gazillion tools. No circle.
And they're organized.
Modular.
We've seen in this first kind of set of challenges. So Greg, what was something that you saw that was really stand out for you?
I really like the way Dylan matched the camera, headset, his balls, the material, and so on. Like it was pretty. In the end, quite simple, but quite elegant. Yeah, Matthew.
Oh boy, you know, Harvey's eye tracking really that was fun. That was really fun.
That was a killer, and it's really nice visualization of it too. Nice blobby thing.
Absolutely.
And I really like the imported Doom asset. That was good.
Yeah.
I really love Ginger's use of that other piece of artwork in their studio. That was another thing that, like, that connection that was, it wasn't just about the instrumentation, it was also about the additional screen that was in their space. That was really fun. That was a really nice use of their tools.
And I think one of the interesting things that I really liked was the different approaches to making that kind of gamification element and interactivity. And I think that was something that Simone, who's Simplo on the screen, did really well, because And Da also did this well, and a few other competitors did this, where they really crafted a kind of game around it with winning and losing and different states to it. And I know Simone's in particular had, like the timer, and then a percentage of the screen you had filled up with the digital spray can, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And Dawes especially also had that kind of crazy element where, when you chase the operator, if you touched it, it kind of said try again, or, you lose or something in the background. That was kind of interesting. So with that said, I mean, what were some things that you thought were the main challenges or difficulties that you were seeing people were struggling through, Greg?
Aside from the time constraint, well, like the other thing is, if you're building something, you need a little bit of time to actually play around with it to get good at it, kind of thing, because you can throw something together, but then to finesse it, get the ranges right. Usually, sometimes it just boils down to getting the right maximum, minimum ranges for some parameters you're trying to adjust to. So just getting that, tuning that is a killer in such a short time.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that I really liked was seeing the different ways people are using Tool. And I remember specifically Ola had used the Kinect recorder to kind of record some of that Kinect data. And I think that kind of thing is really helpful, especially like Greg, what you're saying, like being able to just run through data over and over again, see how something's reacting as you're changing parameters. Because otherwise you get to that point in the show where you've spent so long perfecting the look without any interaction, and then all of a sudden you play with it and you're like, oh my god, this is all wrong, like this is not fun at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, Matthew, like you've experienced crazy things like this before on projects you've worked on.
Oh, absolutely. Leaving that time to play test your project, to figure out what's working, what's not working, and to, I think an interesting wrinkle to this kind of an exercise would be to look at what happens when someone else plays with this or interacts with it. Because I think often when the maker is the person that's doing all the testing, we know all the idiosyncrasies of what makes it work or makes it not work. And when someone else starts to play with it, that's when it really breaks.
Yeah, so interactivity is mostly about motion and logic and stuff like that. So you can get bogged down trying to build your environment, right? If you're trying to build something most of the environments were nice and simple. Some of them are just like 4 or 5 polygons with a texture on it and so on. It was kind of nice and simple. So you really got to strip things down to its simplest physical, like simplest geometry with the most control in it. And yeah.
And that was something that I saw that was really interesting, was just the overall differences in aesthetics that we got. Because we had everything from kind of 2D, I know Vlad was doing that kind of like depth perception tricks with the 2D, all the way up to Dylan and using kind of like the AR aspect of his VR setup. And then we had, like 2D elements and processing. We had 3D elements and processing like HARVEY had. And then, everywhere. And we even had Da, who had made the the network was the game. Was there any standout aesthetic-wise for you guys? Greg, I'll start with you.
Geez, I don't know. I got fixated on the spray can. So,
the spray can was genius. I love that one.
Yeah.
That was Simplo.
Yeah. I mean, as an aesthetic, it's just a simple thing. You just stick an icon on a point and move it around, and it's totally representative, and didn't have to get any fancier than that. So I thought that was great.
Mm-hmm. And Matthew, what about you? Was there any aesthetic that you were really?
I was just thinking about that, and there's so many pieces that were so interesting. I'm like looking at my little scorecard over here, and thinking about it. I really loved the banana Kinect workout game with the banana confetti that was kind of raining down on the user. That was really fun and playful. I'm a sucker for those 2D, 3D combos where it's like that it's built in 3D, but it's the presentation is kind of forced perspective, and so I think some of those pieces were gorgeous. The other one that really stands out to me was Ori's use of the leap motion, the fine,
really
the glow, and the kind of tuning on the aesthetics there was really well done.
Yeah, you can't pull all the pull them all up again, can you, Elburz?
No, but what we actually do have ready is the standings from Challenge 1. And if we can get those on screen, we can see kind of who's in what position, how they came out of that challenge. And then we'll probably even just start transitioning into how our reactions are about that. Oh, here it comes. Here we go, current point standing. So in first place right now, we have Simone, which is Simplo with our spray can, closely followed by Dylan and Ori, who had the AR and then the leap motion, Harvey, who had his really cool kind of eye tracking Doom, Ginger with the kind of background glove control. And you know, you can keep going down this list, but what are your overall reactions? Is this how we expected it to turn out from what we saw, or is there any kind of surprises for you guys? And Matthew, maybe we can start with you on this one.
Oh, that's good. You know, a lot of this feels like exactly the things we were just talking about, right? Like the Simplo's use of that spray can was so playful and so fun that I'm not surprised to see that they're leading up our leaderboard here.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Greg? Do you see any surprises there?
Oh yeah, Greg.
No,
go ahead.
I didn't actually. Not in the
Greg?
least. No, we all kind of were in kind of sync.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hard to say.
I know for me, one of the things that. Sorry, Greg. Go ahead.
No, nothing. Go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things for me that kind of put Simone really up at the top was it really felt like in this short amount of time he created a complete package. You know, it really felt like, you know, maybe it's not a game that someone's going to pay us $50,000, $100,000 to go deploy, but in an hour he was, you know, able to make something that you could put up at a hackathon, you could put up at a kids, you know, area, and they would have fun playing it, right? There's a scoring system, there's states, it's fun, it's interactive, uses body movement, and I think that really like touched on a lot of points for me that, you know, when I see that in first place, I'm like, yeah, you know, that's exactly what I thought. So now with that said, we're about ready to wrap up our first challenge, go to a quick break, and then come back for challenge 2. But Greg, I wanted to leave you with any final words because thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure to have you and an honor to have you. And of course, you know, you created TouchDesigner, so where would we be without you? But are there any final words you want to leave us with about this challenge, what you've seen and kind of what you're looking forward to for the rest of the day?
Yeah, you know, I really would love to just talk to everybody who participated. I really think everybody's pretty bold in just wanting to participate, knowing that they're totally on the spot and there's a lot to do in such a short time and anything can happen. And I really want to thank all the participants for being part of it because it's not easy being put on the spot like that. So it's amazing. Thanks. And just looking at the variety of use of TouchDesigner, old features, new features, everything that kind of thrown into a big pot. I just think that was fantastic. So thanks everybody.
No problem. And thank you, Greg, for joining us. I know like I'm also super excited. Matthew, is there any final words you want to leave them with before we hit that break?
I'm just, you know, for everybody, congratulations. What a marathon or sprint really to have participated in. And I think that's, you know, if nothing else, just like Greg said, like you showed up, you like did all of this work with everybody watching and took a big risk there. And it's really been an honor to be able to see people working in all the different ways that they have been. It's been really exciting. And, you know, I think how I feel right now is exactly how I imagined I was going to feel. Just thrilled and excited at all of the different work that I got to see.
Yep. And I think
I'd echo that. And Greg, go ahead.
Yeah, I think maybe also, I think what I'd like to do is ask a few of the participants to make an appearance on our in-session that we put on at Derivative and go through the network that they had built, because a lot of it happens behind the scene. We didn't really quite see how people are making things. There's a lot of kind of secret sauce in there. So it'd be nice to look at the insides of a few of the works that people had made. So look for that.
I think that would be pretty awesome. Yeah, and we'll try and connect all the competitors with you guys as well to get them on there. And I know this Twitch recording will be online right after this. So if there was some element that you missed or you're just joining us now, you can easily hop back in there, take a deep dive, watch everyone build all these things again. Because I think like the people are saying in the chat, it really is impressive what all these competitors have done in an hour. And I know, you know, there's no taking away the stress level of it. Trying to do all this stuff very quickly is very difficult. So with that said, we are going to go to a quick 15-minute break as we get everything set up for our second challenge of the day. And again, thank you, Greg, for joining us. It is our pleasure and honor to have you with us, and we'll see you guys shortly.
Mm-hmm.